The destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I pull it with a lemon. Not 'cause she ain't living. It's just your eyes get a
Okay.
and this ain't a scrimmage.
It's always a party.
We ain't finished. I tell
Shondaland.
you we won't stop. By the
I wish
business.
I had dance moves like that girl. All Star. Did y'all see her?
No, but I can only imagine what those did. Yes. I can only imagine what they actually were.
Okay.
Hey, thank you guys for joining us again on this beautiful Monday for TGIM. I'm El Marie. You guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at El Marie TV.
And I am Tori Broussard. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tori_Broussard.
What's up, world? I am Keith Andre, and you can follow me on all social media platforms at Keith_Andre.
Hope y'all staying warm. I'm Lynneisha, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lynneisha, spelled Lanisha 914.
You heard me?
Okay.
Well, we want to start this show off by thanking you guys for tuning in to us. We really appreciate it. All the people that you guys come in on the comments, you tune in weekly, and we really appreciate you.
Yes.
And I'm sad to say that tonight will be our last show, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. We appreciate you so much for following us on Instagram and Twitter, letting us know what you think, correcting us when we had the wrong information at times.
Okay, very important.
And just being on the show with us. We do this for you guys.
Yes, I think all the engagement has been like phenomenal. It's always a beautiful experience. So thanks so much for joining the ride with us. And it's not every day that you get to see a panel with 4 brown people.
Exactly.
So we are so grateful to AfterBuzz for giving us this experience. We tried this out, and this isn't the end of us here. You still see us on
Absolutely.
Definitely.
around.
Right. You're going to be seeing all a bunch of our faces, and thank you guys for being on the Instagram, following with us. And we appreciate all of our lovely followers also on Twitter that we finally made.
That we finally
That's
got
so
up.
It's okay. Just follow our individual accounts. You get all the dirt. You get all the tea.
All the tea, right? Yeah.
But we hope you guys
That's
are still up in the live chat because we got a lot to tell you.
Okay.
The show
do.
will still go on for tonight.
Y'all know we going out with a bang.
All
Right, starting with this very rich wine that I brought tonight.
Okay.
This is a Chardonnay, of course, y'all. You know,
Oh my
it's a
God.
Chardonnay. It's from the Gainey Vineyards. And so I've actually never tried it, but, we've got some golden apple, some spiced pears, some honey, some oak.
It sounds good.
Apparently it tastes best with butternut squash soup with blue cheese.
I don't want that.
I know I'm not a blue cheese person. Or what was the other one? Pork stew pasta.
Yeah, I can see this with some pork stew.
I'm just gonna have it with some cheese and crackers. But Tosa TGIM.
Yes, Shondaland Weekly.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, it's not
Way
bad.
This is
better.
really good.
It's got like a sweet aftertaste, so it's not
does.
intimidating.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh,
That's
then
why
I
it's
didn't do my
dry.
job.
Right, you can still feel like the harshness a little bit, but I feel like it's more sweet that like sweeps
Yeah.
in.
I
on
feel
your
like
palate.
this makes
Sweetest.
up for last week, even though Tori was so happy.
I
was just
enjoyed
like
it.
so bitter. But this is nice. Has a nice
Or
sweet
maybe
Yeah, I
I've
was gonna say, this is
just
the
kind
sweetest
of
Chardonnay I've
warmed you
had.
guys up to the dry wine.
That could be the case because we had the extra dry last week. Because this, I feel like I can just go.
Yeah.
I
A
think
little
that's
more
good.
chill.
I
on this
won't.
That means it's good.
I won't,
This is really good.
but I could.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into our news.
Okay.
Yes.
Shonda
You
knows.
guys, this, I'm just going to let you take it away. I'm going to wait. Because I'm really excited about this news today.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Right.
Well, Miss Kerry Washington, like I said, she's learning a new language. So she's learning Igbo, which is her husband's native language because he is from Nigeria originally. So I think that is cool to learn the language of, your husband and his family because it's, that's deep. You
It's
don't wanna-
honor. You're
Yeah.
supposed to.
Yeah, and she, obviously when you get married, you take on each other's cultures and they're different. I think it's really cool how she gave both her son and her daughter Igbo middle names.
Yeah,
Yeah.
traditional
And she
name.
has one too.
Right.
Yeah,
I thought
hers
that was
is,
so interesting.
Ogechi,
Yeah.
and it means God's time. And then the other one is Amarchi, which is grace of God, and then the other one is Kalichi, which is thank God.
Those are the children.
Those
Grace
are
of God
children,
and
the
thank
children.
God. Yeah, I think it's so interesting. I think it is important that, you know, you take on that culture. You want to learn, you know, when you bond with somebody and when you become one, I think you should very much be a part of, like, the cloth of their family. So I love that about her, especially knowing that his parents are immigrants, like first generation. So it makes sense to want to, like, maintain that culture and, like, pass that down to your children.
Yeah, because that's what I was saying. Like, for them to be a first generation, that's their main language. That's their first language.
Right.
So you're going to be around it a lot more than maybe someone second, third generation where they probably do a mixture of both.
Yes.
Right.
And then also, yes, your husband's probably going to pass this on to your children. So you don't want to be the only one kind of, you know, left out and not knowing something. So
yeah,
I think it's something you're
good.
supposed to do when you marry somebody.
Yeah, not everybody does it though.
They don't.
Yeah,
I think
so.
traditionally it's something that is kind of to be expected. We see things differently now. You know, living in this generation, there are some people who are born like Spanish, or our friends who's Dominican, and their parents may not want them to learn Spanish because they want them, you know, to have different opportunities or this and that. So I love that she decided to do that. And she's Kerry Washington. She directing Scandal, acting in Scandal, starting businesses, starting Facebook shows. And she got time to learn a language.
Right.
There you
Then
go.
I have time.
Then you know we
Same.
got some.
Y'all, I've been trying to learn Arabic for like a few years now. I got the Rosetta Stone. When I went home, I brought the DVDs back with me. I think it's so pretty, but it's so freaking hard. It's so difficult. And with the Rosetta, like, it walks you through different stages. So it gives you, like, you hear in the language, and then it goes to the grammar. And I'm like, is the accent on top or the bottom? Is it on the left side? Is it on the right? I just,
Oh my god.
it's way too much.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
So tell us something that you have learned. Say something in Arabic. What can you say? Hi.
No, because it's not taught like that. I can say like Eluelen, which is like girl, I think, or I can say, a friend had taught me like Alhamdulillah, which is like a peace of God, or you translate to like God bless you.
But you can't
But
say
it's-
hi.
It listen. That's not the way the Rosetta teaches you, because they try to engulf you in the language. So you're like boy, girl, man. It's just too much. I have to get back into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Kerry Washington has inspired me. If she has the time,
She
true.
definitely.
I want to
should
learn
inspire.
Spanish, and I've been saying that for
That's
a
what I
while.
was about to say.
Everybody
That's
should.
my
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Everybody
we
needs
should
to know Spanish.
kinda
know
Or
it.
it's like really sad. I went like all throughout school, like I was taught Spanish.
me too.
And now, like, you get to college or you graduate from college and then you don't practice it. And so I'm like, I can understand what you're saying,
But
but I
I
cannot
can't
respond
say
to
it.
you in Spanish. That's like my biggest struggle.
But here's the tricky part. There's different types of Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like,
Yeah.
I know my
Absolutely.
friends, they were like, oh, yeah, I've been to Spanish class. Psh, they're not teaching you the right way because they're slang. Just
Right.
like
That's
how
so
we
so
in,
true.
right. In
But
Spanish
if you
class, you're
learn-
super proper.
You feel like if you learn enough, then you can be good. I remember
Yeah,
one
you
time I was in like an Uber pool with this lady, and she was speaking Spanish with the driver, and she had like cracked a little joke, and I chuckled. So she was like, "Oh, you speak Spanish?" And I'm like, I know what you're saying.
Okay.
Just enough to know what's going on. So let's all-
Right. Well,
let's
I have
be
the Spanish
clear.
keyboard on my phone because I do have
Oh,
friends who
nice.
like they'll text me in Spanish, and I'm like, okay, let me
See,
remember
that's
how to figure out how to.
good.
Yeah, that is.
And I have the Mango app, which also is like a app where you can like they teach you whatever. I know my sister was learning French and German on the Mango app,
Ooh.
and I'm still just trying to like recover my Spanish.
Oh my gosh. But you know
I
what?
know
I
my
think it
basics.
probably is, I don't want to say easier, but it probably isn't as difficult for her. I mean, if her husband speaks the language, if he
Right.
spends time with his family, and then if he's speaking it to their children, it's just like
Right.
constantly around
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right,
you're
right.
bound to pick up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I think that's so dope.
Yeah, and her showing off her skills when she tweeted
Oh,
happy birthday to the
yes.
actress.
How cute was that?
Crazy guys
Yes.
from Orange is the New
Yes,
Black.
yes,
So I'm
yes.
like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't pronounce what she
we-
said,
we're gonna
so
try.
I'm not even gonna try. I'm not, because I don't want to be disrespectful.
No.
and
Y'all
butcher
can
it.
read
Like,
that
all
on the
right.
timeline. Or Twitter.
Or Siri. Siri will tell you exactly how to pronounce it, how to say it.
Listen, after Black Panther and all these African images and African languages, no. Y'all got it.
We'll
Y'all-
get trolled.
y'all
Like,
got
that's
it.
all right. That's okay.
Yes.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about Viola Davis, because she is in the news this week. So we're kind of still along the lines of all this equal pay and things like that. And so she basically was saying in an interview recently, she wants to get paid what she's worth.
Yes.
And talking about how the comparison to Meryl Streep, like everyone in Hollywood kind of calling her the Black Meryl Streep. And her in the interview saying, but I'm nowhere near them, like financially, and the things that they get meaning Meryl Streep, and she also mentioned
Yeah.
Julianne Moore. The things that they get, she doesn't really have, and she still has to fight for some things.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys? We all saw the interview. Let's actually maybe take a clip. We have the
Yeah,
clip of it, right?
for
Let's watch
sure.
a clip real quick so we can have more context on it.
This had me so charged up.
I know.
Okay.
She was speaking her truth.
Talk about gender inequality of pay, because a lot of the women who've stepped forward, and I stand in solidarity with them, okay? What they're getting paid, which is half of what a man is getting paid, well, we get probably a tenth of what a Caucasian woman gets.
Okay.
And I'm number one on the call sheet.
Well,
And then I have to go in and I have to hustle for my worth.
That
That's
part.
what I feel like I'm doing. When I demand what I feel, listen, I have more than a 30-year professional career. I had a friend who said, yeah, but Viola, your career is better than my career. I said, yeah, but you can't compare me.
Don't
Right.
compare me.
Exactly.
Once again, I got the Oscar, I got the Emmy, I got the 2
Tell 'em.
Tonys. I've done Broadway, I've done off-Broadway, I've done TV, I've
Tell
done
'em.
film, I've done all of
Everything.
it.
Yeah.
I have a career that's probably comparable to Meryl Streep, Julianne Moore, Sigourney Weaver. They all came out of Yale.
Name names.
They came out of Juilliard. They came out of NYU. They had the same path as me. And yet, I am nowhere near them. Not as far as money, not as far as job opportunities, nowhere close to it. And yet, I have to constantly get on that phone, and I have fabulous agents, by the way. They are getting it. But I have to get on that phone, and people say, you're a black Meryl Streep.
wow.
You are,
And that's
and we
supposed
love
to be a
you.
compliment.
We love you. There is no one like you. Okay, then if there's no one like me, you think I'm that, you pay me what I'm worth.
Right.
You give me what I'm worth. And not, and even in terms of roles, because when I delve into a role, I want something complicated too. I do. Just like building the most unbelievable structure, a sculptor wants to build the most unbelievable building. That's how I feel, that's what I do as a human being, as an artist. I want to build the most complicated human being. But what I get is the third girl from the left.
Okay, listen. Right?
Girl from the
I really
left.
appreciated that. And then there was one moment where she had said, you know, she spoke about the hustling bit. I feel like I'm hustling for my worth, but I'm not doing that anymore. When I came out the womb, I'm worthy.
Right.
So I just thought that was so like inspiring and impactful, because you do get to see like the reality of the situation. We hear like all these movements and different things in Hollywood, but you get to firsthand like see it, and you know, in many instances you can experience it as you maneuver like out here as well. So
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that she talked about something. You talked about it a couple of episodes ago when Ellen Pompeo was talking about her pay and everything. And I remember you said how it was completely different from a Caucasian woman
right,
to an African American woman, a woman of color.
right.
It's completely different. And I want to know what you guys also think about when Ellen Pompeo was like, just ask for it. Now it's different. Could we just ask for it, being colored people?
I do think in Viola Davis's situation, she absolutely should. And that's what I was going to say. This kind of goes back to what we talked about last week. I am all for being given your worth. She absolutely, 30 years in the game, yeah, you deserve
Yeah.
every penny that you are worth. But at the same time, are you doing everything in your power to get the roles that you want? That includes asking for them. Now, she very much may be, and if that's the case, then yeah, we definitely have a serious issue.
Yeah.
But if she hasn't, then
Well, I don't doubt that she has, and I think that when it comes to like getting a role, I think that's a little bit different. Even with Ellen Pompeo, if she were to ask for a role, 9 times out of 10, she's not going to be given it because she's not the strongest actor. She's not the
Right.
strongest actress in television. I do feel that if Viola was to go in and to kind of make these demands or feel like this is what I'm worth and you need to pay me something that's comparable to Ellen Pompeo, that she would not get it because that's just not the way that Hollywood works for
Right.
people of color. You're not necessarily
Right.
afforded those opportunities. And then I think a lot of the times the excuse is because you have this acclaim, because you've got Tonys, because you've got, you know, an Oscar. You were endowed for 6 minutes. Like, oh my gosh, how do you do that? You're the Black Meryl Streep. That compliment that is not necessarily the most complimentary thing to to me because I'm still not giving avenues to like carve my own space. The roles that I'm taking, if we look at Doubt or even The Help, where she was able to, you know, craft this character and give us this experience, but still I'm doing everything that I can with the box that you're giving me. But I don't have the ability to present myself outside of the box. And how do we do that? Longer in her interview, she talked about, she said she didn't want to use diversity, so she said inclusivity, because that's where it comes, and that's where like the real changes will be implemented, where you can kind of see the effect of people being included. You think of different platforms and you think like, how can we make this work?
And I think it goes to like the beginning of her career, or almost any actor's career. You kind of always have to hustle for that role and things like that in the beginning. And but to get to a certain place, like you just said, and you're compared to certain actresses who have all of this power in Hollywood, so called, but yet I still have to fight for, you know, just even a fourth of what they get, you know, or what the type of movies that they're able to get and things like that. So it's like, at what point am I just like a powerhouse on my own? And like you said, I don't, you know, at some points I shouldn't even have to ask for it anymore. Like I shouldn't have to ask. It should be coming to me at this point, because a lot of them, they get projects, deep projects, good projects with a lot of material and depth brought to them. You know, so it also goes to like, yes, just ask for it, but at the same time, I've done enough. I don't need to ask anymore. My presence, you know, my work, everything else is enough.
That's kind of what she said too. She said, if you are dedicated to change, let it cost you something, which I'm all for. But how long do you have to be dedicated, and what extent, at what cost must you go to prove your point?
And I think that's the biggest question of all, just like a couple weeks ago when we talked about the Monique Netflix situation. You know what I mean? Like, at what point am I willing to stand in the fact that I am a powerhouse, that I do have all these things? We see Monique doing that, and it could very well cost her career, all these opportunities. So it's just like, I don't know, it's a balancing act, I feel. And I get that it's something, I feel like Viola kind of made it more, we can see the humanity of it, because it's something that happens regardless of wherever you are, where you're trying to like shift or like find these spaces. That's why in the beginning, when I talk about AfterBuzz TV giving a platform where we're talking about Shondaland, you have all these people of color, like it's an amazing opportunity. But on the business aspect, we still have to do, you know, what makes sense for our platform, what makes work. And you don't discredit that, but you just think like it is a disparaging thing where you have to find, you know, increase ways and be more innovative and think of, okay, how can I take advantage of this so that I can still fulfill what I want to do, and where people are going to buy into that, and how long do I want to play that game? And I like seeing that Viola is not willing to participate in that anymore. And she's at a good place where she doesn't need to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So she grew enough of an army, that's for sure, to back her up.
That
I give her that. Be like, you know what? Let me wait just a little bit longer. I gotta back up, so you better give me my money.
And I think it's a good time to do that now for like young people and entrepreneurs. Like for me, being in LA, I'm like I said, it's super duper inspiring to me. I've never like doubted myself as far as talent or this and that. But you do see like on Instagram, you can see all these people who posting like highlighting auditions or doing this and just trying to make a way, but you really have what it takes to do what you want. Like me doing my play reading at the end of the month, producing it myself. I don't have to worry about no audition process. You know why? Because I'm producing it. I'm deciding who's in the show. You know, so it really gives you like enough to, you know what? She's right. And maybe things could have been different if she took that type of reign in her career early on. Like, how would that impact
I was gonna say, that's like Jennifer Lewis, who plays a mother on Blackish, and she's known as like the Hollywood mom. But she said that she was asked on the red carpet once, like, what do you do when the phone stops ringing or the phone doesn't ring? He's like, I create my own, so I don't have to worry about that phone ringing. You know, I make my own projects, I do my own work, you know? And some, I mean, that's still...
It's not ideal.
It's not ideal. You don't want to do that. That's still hard because... how successful is that work? Because you're putting in all of your own things, you know. So it's still hard. It's still a good thing I can do this, but at the same time, it's hard too, because you're putting all your own stuff.
You get the fulfillment out of it, because you get to be creative, or you get to flex your actor, or you get to do all these things, but at the same
financially,
time, it's not the reward that you're necessarily looking for. So I thought that was good. But I did want to ask, do you guys feel that Viola is the Black Meryl Streep? I was having a conversation with, here we go. Flag on the play. I was having a conversation with a few people, and I'm like, she absolutely is. What are you talking about?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Meryl Streep has been around for a long time, has done a lot.
As has Viola.
And she has, but I feel like Meryl Streep has had more diverse roles. Now, is that what Viola is fighting for? Yes, but until she gets that, can I say, you're the black Meryl Streep? Like, I don't know. When
it's unfortunate because I think like that's the whole point of all of this, because it's like maybe she could be, if these barriers weren't there, if they could be knocked down, you know what I mean? Because her work is good. Like because I'm stalking Chadwick Boseman right now, and I was just watching Get Up, and she played James Brown's mother in the movie, and I was like, even that little parts, she wasn't in it a lot, but every time she was there, I felt like I was captivated by her. Yeah. You know, even just that. So she is a very good actress. I mean, every Thursday.
Listen, I'm going to tell y'all right now.
She's good.
I'm going to have to write a think piece on this because y'all are really trying. A lot of people have been trying my patience. I 100% feel that Viola Davis is the black Meryl Streep. I feel like it's kind of a disservice to her to call her the black Meryl Streep.
That's what I want to say.
Because she can hold her own.
She's just
and
like
you can even see the way that Meryl Streep speaks of Viola and vice versa. So I think that she's the closest kind of gem that we have when we look at a Meryl Streep who just has this longevity and who has been like super duper successful, but the roles and the skill set of an actress that she is, whether she's doing an accent or whether she's, you know, she's just super duper talented, and we can't like discredit that. 2 more points, and I'm gonna let y'all talk. I was the other day I watched Safe House. I don't know if y'all seen it. It's like with Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
And watching it, like seeing the end, I was like, oh my gosh, it just reminded me like Denzel Washington still is the best actor of an entire generation.
Yes.
And so he has like this credibility and this weight behind his name, and she should have that as well. There's no Denzel is the black. Maybe people will say Tom Hanks, but you don't hear
that. Denzel.
Right.
We never
just they're two completely different actors, which is what I also feel about Meryl Streep and Viola. Like I wouldn't even put them in the same category. So I think that's honestly what bothered me.
I wouldn't think it as bad or bad. Like they're both great actresses, but like what you were saying, Tori, like they're completely different. I don't like that saying Viola's the black Marilyn Streep. Like what?
Yeah, they are different.
Throw that title out. Like,
but while we're on the title,
right.
because I've heard people, I hadn't seen people on Twitter, and I'm going to tweet about this. I'm telling you, I'm going to write about it. But people were saying, like, oh, no, I feel like Angela Bassett is the black Meryl Streep or Queen Latifah. So on one hand, I'm like, well, if we're sitting this here and saying Viola is the black Meryl Streep, what does that do to the caliber or talent? Or where do we place all the other black actresses that are like super duper amazing and dope? It really lessens them further. So I think we have to get away from that.
And as much as I love Queen Latifah, I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, no.
Someone put her in that category?
They were just saying,
and that's no disrespect to her. I love her.
But that's probably because she's also been around for a long time.
And they were saying for Queen, as far as not necessarily skill set, but if you look at her catalog is more varied. Then Viola's is very much.
So, same with Angela Bassett. I think she is more varied than Viola Davis. But do I think one is better than the other?
Right.
I think that Viola is better than Angela.
I think
but
it just
they both are trained. They are trained and they're talented.
My thing is just clearly just simply saying the black version of somebody. Do we have that title at all? We're the white version of a black actress?
No, but you have like You're Pretty for a Black Girl, which is like for your everyday person.
Equivalent.
So
like, what is that?
But it's interesting. I think that we see that in women, and we don't see that in black actors.
That's true.
Like
that is true. Like you said with Denzel, that's very true.
We're not talking about Chadwick is the next or the, so.
Yeah. Well, we could spend all night.
Okay.
This can go on and on.
We only got one show left. We gotta get it all.
Keep it going, hey. But no, let's go ahead and talk about some Grey's Anatomy news. So we have one of the newer actresses in the show actually about to leave the show.
Yes.
So her character on the show is actually dating DeLuca. Yeah, Andrew DeLuca.
They had some history.
Yeah, they did. And I didn't really care for their history too much.
No, me neither.
Like, I wasn't really there for it. So her name is Jeannie what is it? Jeannie Mason, or Janine Mason, excuse me. And so she's going to be now the lead on Roswell. So they're bringing that show back. That used to be on like the CW about the aliens and things. So they're bringing that back. So she's going to have a lead role there. What do you guys think about her leaving Shondaland?
Right.
Like that little powerhouse.
I'm on season 9, episode 11 of Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
So I don't care for her at this moment.
Because you don't know her.
I was going to say, you know, I do not watch Grey's Anatomy. So me looking at it, I'm like, that's a big move. And it's one that either is going to take you here or take you there. Like, I was just trying to think, well, who has left like a Shondaland project and like went on to like exceed the masses. It is a lead role. Roswell was like a huge kind of cult classic in the 90s. A lead role,
like you said, which is something that mostly everybody who has left Grey's Anatomy did not leave for a lead role. So I think that has to play an effect. But I also think when I think of her, I think of somebody who's still kind of trying to find her way. You know, like she won season 5 of So You Think You Can Dance in 2009, and then she went and did like little pieces here and there. Her character, her role on Grey's Anatomy was not that big. Where I feel like if we never saw her again, like it's not gonna affect the show, right? Yeah, so I feel like she's just trying to, you know, like get it where she can. Like,
and I'm not mad at that. And probably if you think about it on the business side, contractually, you know, she must not. You know what I mean? Like Shonda, if I need you, you're gonna be here. I'm gonna have the contract to make sense. So shout out to you for securing a new opportunity. But I do hope that you know it can be difficult to translate in different like television, and they're bringing it back. So who knows?
We hope the show
it's like sometimes with reboots, it's like it can be a great thing, but it's also sci-fi, and they have a huge community of watchers, so they may be excited about it. So it worked for her,
right?
So, and like you said, she didn't make too much of a mark on Grey's Anatomy. So it's one thing like, okay, yes, this could be a good thing because it's Shondaland, and you know, maybe I can have other opportunities within this, but if you don't have them at the moment, and then you have this other brand new shiny thing in front of you,
it could work. But you know what I thought was super interesting, reading the article, that Katherine Heigl was on Roswell in the 90s, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so dope.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, Katherine, what did Katherine need to do? Did she also leave? Wow.
I thought that was so crazy. I didn't know she was on TV back in the 90s. No shade. I didn't know until Grey's. But I thought that was so cool. That was like such a fun fact. They both did the same shows. Right. So we'll see hers, like you said, in Suits, and I ain't checking for her. I don't know about Roswell, but
I don't watch the show, but
I watched the first edition of it. I don't know what to call it. I'm not sure if I'll be back because it was like. Was it late 90s, early 2000s for that show? So
definitely.
I was a lot younger, you know, into those things, and probably it was a cute guy on there or something. So
well, let me tell y'all,
like, not here
one 90s show. If you really want to revisit the 90s,
tell us.
Listen, y'all get on.
Say what I want you to say now.
Get on here and watch Dawson's Creek.
Yes! Yes!
Dawson's Creek was life.
Are y'all serious? Y'all watched?
Yes, I watched Dawson's Creek.
Maybe I'm telling my age. I'm going to be quiet now. But
let's just talk about it for like 1 minute. Listen, I didn't watch it back then, but watching it now, it's so good. It's so much dirt. It's so much drama. They 15 years old. Their parents ain't there. It is high quality television.
It's almost like, okay, I'm not comparing it obviously to Gilmore Girls, but it's one of those feelings that you get when you watched it when you were younger and everything just went over your head, but then you go back and you watch it now as an adult and you're like,
I feel like I might watch Dawson's Creek as an adult.
I wish I would have known this before today, because I'm on like season 3, episode 10, and y'all, I carve out the time. Honey, when I say it's
watching it on?
So good. It's on Hulu.
Okay.
And it's so good. It's
well, now y'all make me want to watch it.
I'm not going to say anything because I want
especially with y'all guests.
Y'all to go watch it.
It's life. It's life.
Yes.
Let's talk about it in the group chat. But it's I'm sorry, but it's good.
Olivia said that show was everything.
Thank you.
It was. I'm really going to go back and watch it.
It's so good. The pilot, you like, what?
I was in my head like running through like 90 shows. It's like 90210.
I know. I was like, say the right one now.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a cult classic, and it is deserving. It's been like 20 years or something a few weeks ago, but Enough. Y'all just have to watch
I didn't see
it.
that show when it first came out. I'm lying.
I-
It was like 20 years ago. Start counting.
Maybe not 20, but it's an old show. I mean,
No,
90s.
right.
So
It's about 20.
It's
If-
about 20, but we probably started watching it. I was in.
at different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I can't
Jump
remember what grade I was in, but yeah.
If you can make the time.
No, make the time.
Yes.
Not if, make the time.
Right.
I honestly want to be
will.
like, Lynneisha, stop watching Grey's Anatomy for a quick
That's
second.
what I'm saying. I was like saying, on Grey's Anatomy.
Once you get hooked in, you are hooked. I'm
Why y'all
sorry.
keep hooking me up on these shows?
Listen, it's something about the
I'm never gonna
90s.
leave my room.
I know the 90s was awesome. That's why it's coming back right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Like it's nothing new right now in this time. Like
Everything
everything
is a reboot.
is from the 90s.
And it's
They
not
have like
necessary.
that.
It was
All that's
awesome.
90s. Have you seen that one?
Mm.
The Teen Nick.
They have
All that? Oh,
well, they
all
have that
that
90s.
90s.
Mhm. So
Oh.
they're
Wait,
Oh.
like the old all that shows are airing right now?
all that, and they're playing all the 90s show that was on Nickelodeon.
That's all you got to do.
Listen, all right, we
That's
don't.
on my
All right, right. Let's get
Yeah,
back on
let's
track.
focus.
Shonda's tweets. We got some good tweets this week. Let's go into that.
Okay. Y'all taking all the time talking about.
You started it.
Oh my God.
Now, I really felt where Shonda was coming from in this tweet. When she said she woke up this morning, opened my eyes, and whispered to myself, Black Panther is here. Yes, T'Challa. No. And I was instantly recovered from Idris's engagement.
Oh my God.
And I feel the same way because my heart was hurt when Idris. I mean, recently he had this Essence cover and video shoot, and it was just he looked amazing. And now he's off the market, and that's not fair.
It's really
It'll be
not.
off.
But I got to look at T'Challa on the screen this week, so I feel Shonda
Okay.
Rhimes right now. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda made
Okay,
up for
that's exactly.
Wakanda weekend. This was Wakanda weekend,
was.
and it was a
It
celebration.
was.
I want to go see it again.
I did. I saw
Again.
it twice this
I
weekend.
saw one, but I probably
Actually,
would go
we
back this
all
weekend.
saw it.
Yeah,
We did see
we
it.
all did see it.
Well, let's get through her
Didn't we
tweets.
get some?
Well, let's get through the tweets.
Yeah, let's go to, and then she also said her almost 80-year-old parents even went as well. So it was a movement. Like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
we
And I
all
think
need to
it's
see this
so
movie.
important for the climate that we're in.
My
It is so
parents are
important.
almost 80.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the response that yields from like this because it did numbers, it broke
Oh, yeah.
records,
It's
so
definitely breaking
and it was
records.
Yeah.
good.
It beat
was so good.
Deadpool.
Yes,
It is
Yeah.
the highest
Oh.
grossing movie opening weekend.
Right in February.
in February.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Black History,
History
Month,
Month.
y'all.
Like Kerry Washington, she even said she was deeply, it was deeply moving, gorgeously executed and joyously fun.
Absolutely.
Black Panther is everything.
It really is.
And Viola Davis just went on a hashtag spree. Wakanda forever. I want to shave my head and kick some ass. My people are beautiful. Inclusion. Ryan Coogler is a genius. We have
at
box
that.
office power. That is my favorite one. We have
Yes.
box office power.
But y'all knew that.
And overseas.
So we ain't even gonna act. Y'all gonna act like y'all new to it if y'all. We've seen it. The numbers
during
don't.
But it's
Right.
right. The
lie.
numbers don't lie. Yeah, it's like
Yes.
now
They
now you see it too.
And it's a good time
they
for
see it
that
too.
resurgence for like Black people in
Right.
film, TV,
Right.
movies,
Right.
because we had that before, and now we're getting into a space where we can have it again. Black Panther was amazing.
Okay.
I walked into it not knowing anything about the story, and I was so pleased.
Yes.
The words that came to mind were just like vivid and vibrant all
Yeah.
throughout the colors, the skill set, like them. Just and it was. I feel like Black Panther is an ode to like the Black woman. But
Yes.
I
That's
don't
what I
want
was
to give
saying.
nothing away, but it's all about.
The women.
That power
Yes.
and that strength. Of the Black
Yes.
woman.
I
Yes.
was for them, like
Yes.
both of them, like
My
And, like,
girl, the general, stole the show for me.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, she did.
She need her
She was
own.
about that.
Right?
She was so good.
Oh my gosh.
She was so
She was.
good.
I feel like it honestly left me speechless. Like there really aren't any words to just describe like the feeling that you get not only just watching it, but the feeling that you got after. Like I felt empowered to
for
just
sure.
go out and just
Yeah.
conquer the world.
I've also like turned into I feel like a low key comic nerd just for a second. I've gone back and like read more of the story of Black Panther because to be honest, I never really knew about that. I'm a Marvel movie fan, but not like really a comic fan.
Like-
so I don't
right,
take it past the
right,
movies.
right.
But after this, I went to kind of like look up the story and the past and things like that, and I also found out that him and Storm were married. This
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the movie, so if you haven't seen it, it's
But the
nothing to do with the
characters?
movie. This is just their comic book life. Their
But you
characters
never
were
know.
married. And I feel deprived because I didn't, when I watched Storm on X-Men, I didn't know that.
Right.
And here we have
Okay.
this beautiful black family, and
Right.
you guys didn't tell us about it.
Yeah,
And I
that's
fell away.
They
interesting.
just had her separate.
I've
I thought she
seen-
was single.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what they would have y'all
I believe they had a
about
child
black
as
people.
well. I think they had a child.
I
They had a
um,
child.
I might have made that up, but
I was about to say,
I
don't
have
remember
seen a
reading
lot
that.
of I've seen a lot of
I read
tweets
it
just as
somewhere,
far as
though.
okay, now it's time for like a Storm movie, but it was amazing to see, you know,
Yeah,
black
it
people in
was,
that way.
yeah.
And bigger, I think the bigger takeaway is not just for children to see like that you can be a superhero, but in every capacity, just super intelligent, just,
Right.
you know, girls, just technology. It really showed like a great representation of what
Yeah.
you can look
Yeah.
forward to.
Right.
And we have some pictures
Yes,
we
we
all
did.
went out
from our
to see
I
it.
movie
saw
experience.
it.
Elle Marie.
That's my photo.
I
Her
really
mom-
love
Wakanda
that
forever.
photo.
I love it.
Hey, Mama
I
Wakanda.
love it.
Okay,
The photo's
so
a little
cute.
dark, but I was in my all black everything.
You found your
That's
light.
like-
You
yeah,
found
I
your
tried to get
lighting.
some lighting in there.
You did.
And then who was next?
Okay, so
Tori.
I was
Tori.
not aware that we were supposed to take a photo, but I just snapped for my or
She
Instagram
all
for my
bootlegging in the
own.
movie theater.
It was at the end.
Spoiler.
Okay.
Did y'all
like,
stay? I'm sorry. Did y'all stay for the 2 scenes after the?
Yes.
I did.
Okay.
No, I only stayed for one scene, and then I found out that
Like I
was
said, I'm a
Igbo.
Marvel
But
fan,
look
so
at
I
Lynneisha.
knew
She
we had
too
to
busy
say
trying
that.
to take her picture
Right?
still looking
She's trying to be cute.
to stay for the
Right?
Right in
scene.
front of my man.
Okay.
Look at them.
But this next photo,
Okay,
though,
so listen, when I was going in, they had like all the stuff up, but when I was coming out, they just had like a wrinkle in time. So this is my friend. I went with Official Smith, at Official Smith. Shout out to him. We do a blog together, but a podcast. He did this picture, you know, because they do like the mouth thing, and he
Right.
edited to like put the etch a sketch, and I just thought that was so
That's dope,
funny.
though.
That is
He
cool.
said, "Don't
That
play
is-
with me. I love us for real."
For real.
That's
I love
a
that.
real fan, for real.
Yes. So.
Side note, though, I saw this photo and I was like, oh, look at
Oh
Keith.
my God. That's not me.
I clearly should have observed the whole photo. I would have clearly saw that it was not Keith.
It's all
Okay.
good. But I do want to go back. I'm planning to go
You
back.
need to. So it's
Recently.
interesting. So I saw it Friday night and then I saw it Saturday during the day. And I will say that, or not Saturday, Sunday, I noticed more of the technical details and really sat in and like soaked in everything that they said versus the first
Yeah.
time, which I was just like, you know,
You're just so
Yeah.
amazed.
all about the
Yeah.
excitement and amazement. Yeah. So
So
the
much
second time
spectacle.
around, you have way more respect. And I will say that I was listening to the soundtrack, obviously, before the movie came out. But this second time, like, I have been playing it nonstop since Friday. Like, it just made
I
the
haven't listened
soundtrack
to it
That's
yet.
that
what I wanna
much
do.
I need to listen
better.
to it.
I want to do.
Yeah.
Every time I hear the songs, the scenes are running through my head. Like,
Oh,
y'all,
nice.
I'll
Such
be
an
on a
experience.
whole,
That.
I'll be on like a different planet when I'm listening to that.
I want to go back and see the movie again just so I could really soak in the technical aspects
Yeah, you
of
should.
it because they really
Yeah.
took
Yeah.
each and every, not just one part of Africa, but each and every aspect of Africa.
Yeah.
That down
Yeah.
to like the colors of the dresses
Yeah,
and
they
the suit.
really
The print
Like,
on the outfits,
yes.
everything.
they
Yeah,
went
yes.
in. They did their work.
They
And
did.
their
Most
research.
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, we have some shout outs. Let's give
Yes.
some shout outs because
Well, we got a
it is
few-
our last show, so we want to appreciate the people.
Yeah, we got a few
who
minutes
have been
left.
kicking it with us.
We've had some people who've been on this ride with us.
Shout out to all of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So one of the shout outs is from Kat Harlem, who said,
Are you going to read what they say or just do their names? I feel like you should just do their names.
just do their name?
Only because we don't have a lot of time and y'all want to get.
Yeah, let's try to
we
get
wanna
one
at
game
least
in.
get
Let's
to
try
the
to get a
game
game in.
So shout out to Kat Harlem.
Yes.
All right, she's been following it. And then shout out to Deneen Washington.
Mhm.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Wait, one of them had a specific question. I I feel like relating to
Oh, that was
something
this
about.
one
that one's
next.
coming
About
up.
Grey's
Okay. That
Anatomy.
one.
Okay, I just want to make sure we answer their question.
So
Jair Santillan.
yeah, and his question was, do you know where is Grey's Anatomy?
But he
after
did say that he
show?
follows us every
He
week.
follows us too.
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
wanted
Yeah.
to know
Yeah.
about Grey's Anatomy.
So
Yes.
Grey's Anatomy will be back
March 1st.
March 1st. I wanted to make sure the 1st was like
Yeah.
okay,
Tori
March
knows.
1st. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, it's
Tori
March
will be
1st.
joining the panel. So I'm on the
Yes,
Grey's
I
Anatomy
know.
panel. Tori will be joining.
So you
Yeah, I'm
gotta be
excited about that.
Hey.
Yeah, so we did miss last week, but we will double up for the episode we missed and the current episode on March 1st.
Right. So it's a
that's
total
for you.
of 3 weeks
Yeah.
that they aren't showing an
On.
episode and that
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
no
it's
after
like-
show as well.
Yeah. There was a lot
Super
going on.
excited
Watch
for
the
all
Olympics.
the shows to come back right after the
Right,
Olympics.
that's the
That's
thing.
what's on right now.
All right, guys.
And then, hold on, there was like
one
one more.
One
Deborah
more.
Battle.
Deborah Battle.
Who left us some comments. So
And
shout
she
out
was
to
playing
her.
the
What's up,
games.
Deborah?
She played the
Yeah,
games.
she was
tonight.
like, I
Oh,
wanna-
yes. Hopefully you can play tonight and help
right,
Tori.
Hopefully you're watching. Because Tori needs the help.
Yes,
Okay.
and actually somebody told me that they were in the live comments last week trying to help me, but Lynneisha was not looking. So I'm going to need you to pay
Wait a
attention,
minute.
Same here, because
Lynneisha.
I told you guys I was coming in the chat and no one acknowledged
You
me.
weren't
and I
in the
felt
chat.
away.
We didn't see you say nothing.
Lies.
You
I
was
said
not-
I agreed with Tori about, you didn't want,
She lying, y'all.
what's the name
Come
to
on.
help? You wanted to reverse for the
I
early
did.
things,
I
and
absolutely
agreed.
did.
Difficulties.
And no one said anything.
Can
Anyway,
you hand
okay.
me a pen, please?
Let's
Keith?
get to this game.
So I can go ahead
So the
and win
first
it.
one is going to be
We're gonna do.
No,
Let's do the
let's do
Black
the
History
Black
one.
History.
Yeah, so we make sure we
So
get
we
that
can
in.
go out with Black History Month, y'all.
Yes. Okay. That was very strong country. Excuse me.
yes.
All right.
So this is our Black History game of who did that. Okay. So the first question is, who is one of the first surgeons to perform open heart surgery? Is it A, Preston Burke?
Yes.
B, Charles Drew, or C, Daniel Hale Williams?
Is this fictional or no? I'm playing.
Wait, who's the second guy again?
Who's the second?
Yeah.
B, Charles Drew, or C, Daniel Hale Williams?
She always trying to go back.
Y'all ready?
Uh-huh.
Ready?
One,
Ready,
two.
flip.
Oh.
C, you're right.
That was going to be my first answer.
So it was Daniel Hale
I
Williams.
demand.
In 1893, he performed open heart surgery. There were only 2 other surgeons before him to do it, and he was the first Black surgeon to do open
You
heart
know
Who
what?
got it right in the live chat?
Nobody.
No one's
sent
trying to
it.
help me.
But
Tori
you-
needs help.
You know what got us is because last week I was talking about Charles Drew with the blood banks and
Oh,
stuff,
yes,
and how he was
yes,
a surgeon. So I was like,
I
yes,
did that
Yeah.
on purpose. Okay.
real cute.
Number 2. Who is known as the founder of Chicago?
Ooh.
Is it A, Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable?
Okay.
B, Elijah McCoy, or C, Bessie Coleman?
You know, just because you're from Chicago doesn't mean.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Who was the second one again?
Oh my god.
Elijah McCoy.
If you say, "Oh my gosh," one more time, I'm just trying to make sure I get the
Yeah,
right
ready?
answer.
You're not gonna get it
Yes.
right.
Right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
It was A,
Oh.
Jean-Baptiste du Sable.
that long name.
I literally,
Yes.
I don't want to play anymore.
But I want you guys to know that there
You
was
lost anyway.
a Black man responsible for discovering Chicago
Oh, there's
in the
still
1780s.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's still hope because she only got one answer.
Yeah, there's still
correct.
hope. Okay.
Oh
So
wow!
we can
Thanks for
tie
being
again.
nice.
So
And you
listen.
got-
It's about me. I could win.
Listen. Okay. Who were the first fighter pilots in the Army?
Okay.
A, Buffalo Soldiers. B, Harlem Hellfighters. Or C, Tuskegee Airmen. Now you better get this right.
Oh my god.
Wait, that makes
Wait,
no
are you
sense.
serious? Read it all over again.
What was the?
A,
you.
Buffalo,
Buffalo.
Soldiers. B, Harlem Hellfighters. Or C, Tuskegee Airmen.
Okay. I feel.
Okay, flip them.
Y'all ready?
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Yeah. Cut dog it. Yeah, you two are right. Tuskegee Airmen.
I got my first answer.
So it's a
So
tie.
one.
It's a
It's a
tie.
Hi.
Okay.
Oh, look, they were
Tiebreaker.
helping. I should have.
Yeah, but that's-
Lynneisha, this is the second
Okay,
time you
do
have failed me.
tiebreaker.
Come on, come on,
Tiebreaker.
come on,
Tiebreaker.
come on.
Okay. What is Black Panther's uncle's name?
Oh, I'm looking, y'all.
Wait, please tell me you got multiple choice for that.
Is it A,
Okay.
M'Baku,
Come on, Black Panther people.
B, M'Jabu, or C, M'Jataka?
Shataka.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oh shoot.
We all had
B.
She wins. It was party song.
Live chat.
M'Jataka is Killmonger, and M'Baka was the
I win. I
ape
win.
men
I win.
guys. All right, so, but we learned something for Black History. Daniel Hell Williams was the first Black man to perform open heart surgery in the 1800s. John Baptiste du Sable discovered Chicago in the 1700s, and the Tuskegee Airmen were the first fighter pilots in the Army.
Nice, that's awesome.
That was really cool, though.
Great job.
Even though I lost every single time, I really enjoyed playing that game.
I did too. I think it was a staple of the show. I'm glad we had that experience.
Yes. And once again, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in, being in the live chat tonight.
Yes.
I'm glad that we were able to entertain you guys because you did like the show.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that you guys were here with us every week.
And we really liked the show. And please know that you can follow us wherever we go, doing whatever we do on all of our social media platforms.
And
yes.
We'll still be here. I mean, it was an amazing opportunity. I think it's super duper important, like I said, to thank AfterBuzz TV for giving us this type of platform to do this type of thing on our own merit. You know, we brought our own content to the show.
Yes,
we
did.
did.
Dope. And we get to go out with Black History Month as a panel, Shondaland
Cheers to that.
Okay.
Yes. And be sure to follow all of our other shows. Like for me, Once Upon a Time comes on Mondays at 7 p.m.
Mondays, Tuesdays, This Is Us will be back, I think, next week at 10 p.m.
And Thursdays for us for Grey's Anatomy.
We'll be back March 1st.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
So you guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at ElMarieTV.
Thank you guys. It was a lot of fun. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tori_Broussard.
And always, you can check out your boy all over social media at Keith_Andre.
You already know I'm Lynneisha. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lynneisha, spelled Lanisha 914.
You heard me? Shondaland Weekly out.
Okay, Wakanda forever, right?
Yeah.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.